Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world where computing meets data science, a frontier where innovation thrives and insights abound. As we navigate this landscape of ones and zeros, let us remember in the dance of algorithms and the symphony of data lies the melody of innovation and the harmony of progress. Distinguished delegates, honored guests, esteemed faculty, and dear participants. Heartfelt welcome to the inauguration of International Conference on Computing and Data Science, organized by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering and proudly sponsored by IEEE Madras section. Computing and data science lead technological advancements by merging algorithms, software, and hardware to address complex challenges and reveal invaluable insights. Through computational power and analytical methods, we extract patterns, predict trends, and drive informed decisions. With machine learning and cloud computing, we scale data processing, reshaping industries, societies, and our worldview. Today, we gather to celebrate the remarkable progress and transformative innovations in the fields of computing and data science. To invoke the blessings for our event, let us start with the prayer song. I kindly request everyone to stand as we seek the divine presence of the Almighty.
Vandeham Sharadam Visharadam Jnanadam Varadam Vandeham Sharadam Visharadam Jnanadam Varadam Vandeham Sharadam Visharadam Jnanadam Varadam Sukha Swachha Swarupinim Swachha Hridaya Nivasinim Sukha Swachha Swarupinim Swachha Hridaya Nivasinim Swaprakasha Rupinim Swaprakasha Rupinim Swaprakasha Rupinim Vandeham Sharadam Visharadam Jnanadam Varadam Vandeham Sharadam Visharadam Jnanadam Varadam Vandeham Sharadam.
Thank you, everyone. To kick off today's proceedings, let us welcome our guiding force with deep expertise and a passion for talent development. He steers both students and faculty towards excellence. His innovative spirit fosters curiosity and growth, inspiring a culture of progress. Please join me in welcoming Dr. P. Kumar, Director of Computing and Information Science and Head of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, to deliver the welcome address.
So, very good morning. It is with my great pleasure and immense pride that I welcome you all for the first IEEE International Conference on Computing and Data Science. As we gather here today, we are united by a shared passion for advancing the frontiers of knowledge and in computing and transformative power of data science. This conference is not just a platform for sharing innovative research and cutting-edge technology developments. It is a vibrant community coming together to challenge the status quo and drive forward our understanding of complex data systems and computational theories. We are here to foster dialogue, exchange novel ideas, and spark collaborations and transcend geographical and discipline boundaries. The conference work started in the year July 2023, and we got the approval from IEEE in January 2024. And we have received about 1,067 papers across the globe, and we have about 262 reviewers to review the papers and to shortlist, and we made 3 reviews for each paper, and number of papers shortlisted is 100, which is going to be presented in those 2 days. The shortlisted and presented papers will be published in IEEE Explore, which is a Scopus Index journal. And we also received about 43 papers from different countries, And apart from that, we have been shortlisted 5 papers from the globe, which has going to be presented in online mode. And we have been privileged to have among us some of the most distinguished scholars, pioneer researchers, and visionary thinkers from across the globe. Over the next 2 days, you will have an opportunity to engage in a series of keynotes and sessions that promise to enrich your knowledge and ignite your curiosity. Our agenda is packed with presentation on latest breakthroughs and technological advancement that promise to redefine what's possible in our field. In this regard, we have 3 keynote sessions that have been arranged. One is by Professor Kamran Khan, who is going to from UT Dallas, USA, who is going to deliver a talk on machine learning and its application on tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And today we have 2 more keynote sessions. One is by Mr. Meenakshi Sundaram, Delivery Manager, International Flavors Fragrance, going to deliver about how AI used in healthcare, and also Dr. Pradeep Kumar, Research and Engineering Scientist from Zogo Car. So it is with my distinct honor to extend a warm welcome to our chief guest, Mr. Badri Narayanan, Senior Vice President and Head of Digital Transformation at HCL Technologies. We are truly privileged to have you as such a distinguished leader in the realm of technology and innovation with us today. His visionary leadership and deep expertise in driving digital initiatives have positioned HCL as a frontrunner in IT services industry. Today, we look forward for sharing his valuable insights on the challenges and opportunities in digital transformation. His perspective is particularly relevant in our rapidly evolving digital landscape, where embracing change is not merely an option, but necessity for growth and sustainability. Let us seize this opportunity to gain knowledge from his experiences and understand how we can apply these lessons to navigate and excel in our professional endeavors. Please join me in giving a hearty welcome to him. Welcome, sir. We eagerly listen to you, learn and engage in fruitful dialogue under your guidance. It is with immense respect and great pleasure that I extend a heartfelt welcome to our advisor who presents today. It's not just an honor, but also an evidence to the profound impact he has on the fields of computing and technology. He is renowned for his exemplary contributions in computer science education and research. His dedication to advancing technology and nurturing the next generation engineers has left an unforgettable mark on academia and industry. As we dwell in our discussions on the latest trends and innovation in computing and data science, our advisors' insights and guidance will undoubtedly enrich our conversations and inspire us all. His expertise will help bridge the gap between theoretical research and practical application, illuminating the path for future innovations. We are indeed fortunate to have our advisor with us today, where he can explore many ways in which computing and data science continue to transform our world. Let us take this full advantage of his vast experience and knowledge to enhance our understanding and expand our horizons. Please join me in warm welcoming our advisor to our conference. Welcome you, sir, and look forward for his invaluable contribution that eager to learn from his wisdom. Next, it's with great honor and privilege that I welcome our esteemed principal to the international conference. As a pillar of academic leadership and a driving force behind the advancement of educational excellence, your participation today underscores the critical role of academia in shaping the future technology and data science. Under your guidance, the academic institution has flourished, fostering an environment where innovative research, collaboration, and learning converge to prepare the next generation of leaders in the computing and data sciences. Today, we are eager to hear from you, sir, whose insights will undoubtedly enhance our understanding of the challenges and opportunities with our disciplines. Let us welcome our principal, and we are incredibly fortunate to have such a visionary academic leader with us, and we look forward to a productive and inspiring exchange of ideas. Welcome, sir. Next, it's my great pleasure to welcome our warm welcome to our Dean Academics, who joins us today at the conference. He has been instrumental in cultivating an academic environment and championship innovations and research, particularly in the realms of computing and data science. As we embark on this conference, we are eager to engage with him, benefit from Dean's profound insights and experience. Please join me in welcoming our Dean. We are enthusiastic about knowledge and perspective they will share, which promises to enrich our sessions and inspire our community. Welcome, sir. I also extend my warm welcome to directors, Dr. S. Palnivalan, Students Counselor of IEEE Student Branch, who is instrumental in making this conference to have it on today, and my dear faculty members, your expertise and dedication greatly enrich our academic community. I extend a warm welcome to the participants who have come here to present their works in terms of publication. I welcome our students for this conference where they will get a lot of opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals, gain insights into cutting-edge technology, and explore the potential for collaboration. Remember, it is a synergy of diverse perspective and expertise that propels us towards new horizons. I also extend my warm welcome to Dr. K. Anand Jyoti and Dr. N. Duraimurugan, the coordinators of this conference, who tirelessly worked for this conference and made it happen today. I once again welcome all of you for this international conference on computing and data science. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words. And now I would like to invite our esteemed principal, Dr. S.N. Murugesan, whose leadership has been instrumental in fostering academic excellence and nurturing the intellectual growth of our institution, to share his invaluable insights and vision with us. Please join me in welcoming Dr. S.N. Murugesan, Principal of Rajalakshmi Engineering College, to give the presidential address.
Very distinguished Chief Guest, Mr. S. Badri Narayanan, Senior Vice President and Head of Digital Transformation, HCL Technologies, respected Advisor, Dean, Dr. Kumar, and my colleagues from teaching fraternity, dear students, very good morning to all of you. At this point of time, I recall what the English people were talking by the time giving independence was considered. They mentioned that how a country which is not having any expertise to make even safety pin to become independent. That was their comment by the time independence was seriously considered. From that point, our country has grown leaps and bounds after independence. It's all because of our forefathers, visionary leaders have contributed immensely. Because of that contribution, we now belong to a nation which is a force to reckon with. We should be thankful to our visionary leaders, and particularly companies like HCL. After this IT boom has come, many companies like HCL has contributed immensely, and through that we are getting this kind of respect. And also great institutions like IITs have contributed in the area of science and technology. I still recall before 15 years when advisor was, he was not frequently visiting our institution, and he was mentioning that there was a talk that like wire carrying current to our homes, like pipe carrying water to our homes, people mentioned that data will flow to homes, and that is becoming reality that he mentioned 15 years before. And at that time, this IoT was not so popular. He was also mentioning that there are going to be devices connected with internet, and that number of devices will be more than number of people on the earth. So such a visionary leaders are contributing for the development of our nation. And why I'm mentioning this is we do have our own responsibility as youngsters. You have your own responsibility to contribute in whichever way possible so that our country grows further. And for that, conference like this provides platform. And when we wanted to start new programs like AIML, AIDS, when we looked for what are the equipments and devices we have to purchase. For example, when we wanted to start mechatronics, robotics and automation, we had to purchase too many equipments and installed in too many labs. But when we wanted to start AIML, AIDS, all we wanted are just computers. Why I'm mentioning is many things are available. Data is available in the public forum. Many softwares are available as open source. So there is no excuse for all of you. Everything is readily available. You can make a dent in the field of data science if you want to progress. And last, I would like to congratulate the department for choosing right team. The theme is computing and data science. I happened to read a book called Chip War by Chris Miller, and he has mentioned how the development in computing has contributed in various fields, including defense sector. The reason for US to lose the war in Vietnam was they were not able to hit the targets. Around 90% of the targets when they launched missiles failed because they were computing the location of the target with vacuum tube. I think vacuum tube was used those days. After that, the chip was invented with a large number of transistors embedded in silicon, and that is with development in lithography, how the chip revolution has changed the art of war. And also he mentions how the development in computing has become ubiquitous. It is there everywhere. We do have, every affordable person got a mobile, there is chip. So computing is, development in computing and your knowledge in the development in computing is very essential. These two areas are very fertile, and I am sure every one of you are capable of contributing significantly, and this conference will definitely help you to choose some area, and more importantly, get connected with the people like our chief guest, take their help, our advisor, take their help and make sure that you are pursuing a meaningful project in not only in your academic requirement as a final year project, also you can pursue a lot of projects for various competitions that are conducted regularly. And coming to IEEE, I thank IEEE for, and also Palanivelan for making this conference possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening address. It is now time for a significant moment as we prepare to release the proceedings of our international conference on computing and data science. I would like to invite our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Badri Narayanan, for the release ceremony, and I kindly request the dignitaries on the stage to join us. I request the audience to scan the QR code being displayed on the LED screen to get the copy of the proceedings.
Thank you all. It is indeed a privilege to have Mr. Badri Narayanan, Senior Vice President and Head of Digital Transformation at HTL Technologies among us. I take utmost pleasure in introducing our distinguished chief guest for his international conference. With over 27 years of leadership and expertise in the IT industry, He currently serves as the Senior Vice President and Head of Digital Transformation at HCL Technologies. His profound commitment to driving digital innovation within HCL IT, coupled with his extensive experience in implementing cutting-edge technologies such as Gen AI, makes him a pioneer in the field. His distinguished career spans across esteemed organizations, including Wipro and Infosys, where he consistently demonstrated his prowess as a visionary leader. He holds a B.Tech from IIT BHU and an MBA from IIM Bangalore, showcasing his impressive academic background. Furthermore, his role as the digital business leader for a $500 million Euro business underscores his dedication to ensuring customer success and service delivery across consumer and commercial industries. His global perspective and strategic expertise as the former global delivery head for travel, transportation, logistics, and supply chain vertical further attest to his remarkable leadership abilities. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Badrinarayanan, Senior Vice President and Head of Digital Transformation at HCL Technologies, our esteemed chief guest, as we embark on this journey of knowledge exchange and collaboration at this international conference. Now I kindly request Dr. C.R. Muthukrishnan, Advisor at Rajalakshmi Institutions, to welcome our chief guest with the bouquet. Thank you, sir. Without further delay, I request our chief guest to deliver the inaugural address. Please, sir.
Hello everyone. Really a privilege and an honor to be here inaugurating this conference. Thank you Dr. Murugesan, Dr. Kumar and rest of my colleagues for giving me this opportunity and to be in presence of all these energetic members. It is a privilege and thanks a lot. Okay, so I will kind of try to bring some industry perspective to this. While I cherish this moment of interacting with academia, I come from an industry where we have solved many of these problems, technology problems, and I'll try to give some examples and you're all free to interact with me after the session as well to learn more about it. So just to relook at last 3-4 decades where computing and data science has evolved, right? Just a short recap. So if you look at 80s and 90s, we have been largely focused on automating simple tasks, like calculations, accounting, those kind of software. If you look at, 2000 onwards, right, 2000 to 2010, it's been a moment of enterprise applications, information, kind of explosion. All of that automation happened over that decade. Over the last 10 years has been a real focus on operational transformation. We see the machines, robots, and kind of putting chips in them has really enabled a lot of this machine data to be available. And the current age data transformation where we are is really a culmination of these 3-4 decades of automation that has happened, right? Where we are able to see tons of information and knowledge which is available. And then we've got data coming from operational systems, whether it's on machines which manufacture products, and then you've got data coming from these enterprise applications which give the supply chain data, consumer data, and all of that. So this entire value chain from concept to actual delivery of goods to the end customer is now fully automated. So that actually brings about a significant change to enterprises, right? And traditionally, if you see, we used to always have a siloed computing where one particular task alone used to be computed. Now we can do end-to-end value chain, and there are companies where literally are being operated with just sales organization. Entire value chain production to selling is all happening just with automated software and machines alone. So that's a level of evolution that has happened, right? And the impact of this on computing is that on one side we are seeing cloud and the whole servers are all moving to the cloud. On the other side, edge computing is bringing in a lot of on-demand, in the moment kind of a computing power. And within next year, you're going to have AI chips also being available on your own desktops and laptops, and Intel is currently working on it. Very soon, you don't even have to go to server. Your own machine will act as a computing powerhouse with AI logic in it. So the entire spectrum of hardware is getting upgraded to kind of be available for this particular end-to-end automation. Similarly, on the data side, if you see, everybody says data is the new oil, right? And the reason why each and every thing is becoming commoditized, right? You look at process automation or each enterprise application, they're all getting commoditized. You have the same thing available from different vendors. So what is going to be a differentiator for a company is really the data. So if you don't own the data and you can't make meaningful analysis out of it, you can't exist. Your own competition will come and eat you alive, right? So that is why data is becoming center of this, and any analytics that you do, whether it's data science, through analytics, or using more complex AI computation logic, is becoming more and more critical now, and that is going to become the main strategy for all companies. So it is not just some IT function coming and doing data-based decision making. It is going to be central for corporate strategy and corporate development, right? And so that is a significant shift that has happened in the last 4 or 5 years because of all this underlying enablement. And what we need to do, obviously industry, where I come from, we are all going to be focused on customer. How do we kind of improve productivity? How do we reduce costs? How do we sell more to end customers? And how do we increase revenue? That focus. Academia has been focused on bringing in new tools, new models, new ways of doing data modeling. So both has to partner in this journey. Then only the end-to-end value chain automation will kind of succeed and be faster in being able to deliver this. So I will give few examples of what we are doing for our end customers, just to kind of bridge this gap and give you a perspective of industry, right? How some of the things are, amazing stuff are happening through data and AI, right? So first is a supply chain. It's a global leader in supply chain who move goods across countries, across organization. Whether you place an order in Amazon, all of that is actually fulfilled by them globally, right? So they came to a problem with a problem statement with us that we want to understand how the economic cycle is going to happen, right? When should we invest on economy? When should we open up more warehouses? When should we scale down our investment, right? So they wanted some market-facing data, which is available, but they want to interpret that and kind of use that for their internal decision making. Instead of just kind of following that order, what we did is, we said, why should we go external? You are a supply chain company, which is like $10 billion company, and you are moving goods worth of literally $500 billion worth of goods on a yearly basis. So you are literally the backbone of the country or the continent. So you have all the data that is available. You don't even need to go outside. So what we did through data science is that we looked at all of the goods that are being moved through them, right, in their own warehouses, in their own supply chain. We segregated into which is the raw material data and which is the end user data, right, meaning end product data. So, you are kind of ordering something through your e-commerce site, so that's an end product. Whereas you are moving raw goods like a steel or, those kind of stuff, it's a raw material. So obviously raw material gets produced, it gets consumed and becomes an end product after 3 months or 4 months. And that is what, drives the economic growth, right? So we kind of created a data model where through their own transportation and supply chain logistics framework, how the data is being consumed and therefore what will be the impact of production and GDP of each of those countries 3 months and 6 months down the line. And we use historical correlation and created an economic life cycle based on just the goods that are being moved by a particular corporate. And instead of going externally and paying money to get this economic data, we flipped the switch and said, you use your own data to predict the economy, which you can sell it back to the end customers. So that's a kind of shift that we made in the whole thing. And you would think that this is a regular operational data, and we have now made it a new service where they could go to the market with this service. So a significant change from the way people look at it, and it's all there, right? And just that whether somebody looks at it or you don't look at it, that's really the question. Another example I will give is for a global furniture retailer, right? And we were managing their entire supply chain, goods, manufacturing and all of that. And they had a situation where constantly there used to be stock out, right? When a customer goes and buys, let's say, a dining table, you don't have that in stock, and that becomes suddenly popular over the last, let's say, 2 or 3 weeks, a particular SKU. So, and therefore they used to order more. So if you order a lot more in the inventory in a warehouse, you are obviously kind of, locking up money without generating revenue. Similarly, if you have a stock out situation, then you have a problem where, you are returning back the customer with no revenue, right? Both are not good. And it was left to an individual's decision, each store manager's decision on when person should reorder. And obviously, sometimes they will kind of not remember to reorder on time. And so what we did is we completely automated this, and over 240 stores and thousands of warehouses, each one of them, a machine would monitor how much of quantity is the ideal quantity to avoid both a stock out situation as well as an excess inventory. So we removed completely the manual intervention that is needed. And it's not that it's bad, but you can still oversee, a person can oversee that, but the main decision we made machine to do. And it would kind of spot what's the trend in of that particular item, let's say a desk or a dining table or a chair, and see what's the current kind of a trend of movement per week, look at historical reason and see whether it should or reorder the right quantity or not. So this saved millions of dollars for this particular client, right? So look at the economic benefit that is coming because we are kind of making decisions through machine than leaving it to human intervention. And these are all programs which are being developed by data scientists, AML engineers, and prompt engineers. So there is tremendous scope. And I'll give another example which all of us will relate to. We are working with a Pepsi bottler in UK, and you have these vending machines where all the products, whether it's soft drinks or associated products, are all available. In Western world, vending machines are almost like our ATM, right? They are there in every campus, every building, but nobody will go man this and kind of find out how much of quantity is available, right? And obviously, because all remote stations, and labor is very expensive, and you don't want them all going to multiple places and finding out whether they will come once a week, and till that time if there is a that particular item is not available, you don't have it. It leads to poor customer experience apart from revenue and all of that. So we put a chip which will monitor how much of goods were actually getting consumed and how much is remaining. And that particular chip will actually send the data back to a central database, and we could remotely, sitting outside, monitor which vending machine is likely to have a kind of a not have enough stock, and send the people to ones where high volume growth is there. So see how the machine data, the IoT data is being combined with enterprise data and is enabling decision making, leading to a much better experience. And same use case could be there in our own ATMs or any other places, right? And because underlying technology has improved, we are able to bring all of this together and make decisions. And another example I will give is for a windmill manufacturer, right? So this is basically, they have these large wind farms which generate electricity. And these are all very complex situations where so many variables from wind speed to temperature to altitude to the angle at which a wind farm is situated, all of that kind of affects how much of electricity is generated. So we help this major to kind of reorient and extract 12% more electricity from the same investment based on last 25 years of data. They have all these wind farms operating at which time, which variable is exactly impacting in terms of actual throughput and electricity generation. So we modeled that and suggested for every wind farm what is the right operational conditions and operational parameters. So look at the impact. I mean, as a consumer, if your electricity bill will go down by 12%, who wouldn't want it, right? So, but that's what they can offer, because they can offer that to government, and government can in turn, pass it on to the end consumer. So these are the kind of significant impact that we are able to create through IT because of all the changes that has happened. And it's an exciting journey of digital transformation. It's not, sometimes you just see one single application, you are just looking at your own technology and how to develop code, but finally the impact it has on end customer and public is just enormous, right? We are touching every person's life. And that's the excitement that we have in terms of deploying solution, where we are really improving every person's life in whatever way, either reducing their cost, improving their revenue or productivity and all of that. So I am super excited on where data science is going, where AI/ML is going, and where all of you are kind of coming together, learning, and going to be the future thinkers and doers in this particular area. I started as a software developer a couple of decades back, and I've grown through the organization by putting in hard work, learned smart. There is so much of information available. I don't know how many of you know, the entire MIT courses on AI/ML is all available publicly in the internet, right? Just as an example. So there is no dearth, right? And you have esteemed professors here who also bring together rich content. So if you are motivated, if you want to know what's happening out there, there is enough and more content in the internet. It's a question of how you wean through that, how you learn, and how you get the best out of it. So I'm wishing all of you best. Work hard, learn smart, and contribute to the society. With that, I will end my lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your invaluable insights. Now, I kindly request our principal, Dr. S.N. Murugesan, to present the memento to Mr. Badri Narayanan. Thank you, sir. It is now with great delight that I would like to welcome Dr. C.R. Muthukrishnan, our trusted advisor at Rajalakshmi Institutions. He is renowned for offering his invaluable guidance and knowledge. With his vast experience and love for teaching, he is a supportive mentor to students and staff. Driven by a strong desire for improvement, he encourages creativity and progress, motivating everyone to do their best. His leadership and commitment leave a positive mark, influencing the direction of education and inspiring future learners. Please join me in welcoming Dr. C.R. Muthukrishnan, advisor at Rajalakshmi Institution, to felicitate the gathering.
Our chief guest, Mr. Badri Narayanan, our principal, Professor Murugesan, our Dean Academic and Professor Computer Science and Engineering, Dr. Murali Bhaskar, Senior Faculty, Dr. Palni Velan, Faculty, and dear students and participants. I'd like to thank Dr. Kumar and also Professor Murali Bhaskar and the other organizers for giving me an opportunity to share a few thoughts with you at this occasion. It's an interesting and important conference which brings the output of effort by faculty and students across the board for sharing over the next 2 days. There are also some keynote talks and so on. The title of the conference is very interesting, Computing and Data Science. Computers have the power or create the possibility to process data. But data is the one from which we derive value. Without data, computing will not make sense, and without computing, data cannot be brought into a sensible form for use. So the two are made for each other, and it's a good title for the conference. What I'd like to do in this few minutes that I have is to flag a couple of points with you. I would like to imagine 20 years from now, when many of you would have become professionals, would have had 2 decades of profession behind you and 2 decades ahead of you. And these 20 years, we will be moving to closer to 2047, the 100 years of independence of the free India, which Professor Murugesan also mentioned in his address to you. And this is the last quarter of those 100 years in which you are going to graduate, and you are going to be contributing both in terms of your development as well as the development of the nation, and in many ways also in a global sense, especially because of the field in which you are equipping yourself and building your capability, that is computers, information sciences and so on, various aspects and facets of it. I would mention a few jargon, database. Some of you might have heard, some of you will be hearing in the next year or so. Database is one terminology that has come. 1971 is when officially the word database came into, you can say, in the field of computing, information technology and so on. A structured, organized way of looking at data. Of course, later it became very commonplace because the same form of organizing data in aggregate became very popular through spreadsheets and so on, which everybody knows. Even non-computer people now use spreadsheets and things like that. Then you have words like data warehouse, data lake, data mart and so on. I will urge you to see what these words are about and what they mean and how they capture some perspective and facets of the world of data. And all these terminology have come because of the way we want to take data as a resource, data as an oil, that was mentioned by our chief guest, forward. But also add one more jargon to this, metadata. What is metadata about? It's data about data. I think all these concepts are very important. I'll touch upon some aspects of these in terms of what it means to us in the longer term later on in my brief address. The next thing to note is that data pervades everything. If you go to a doctor, he needs data about you through tests and so on, symptoms and so on, and then he sets into a process of diagnosis either through experience or sometimes experience amplified through data analytics solutions and so on. For example, image processing has made a big impact in terms of how doctors can make sense of various kinds of data they receive and so on. You take commerce, for example. It's a highly data-driven transactions, buying, selling, profiles of what gets bought by people and so on, online commerce. It's all driven by data. In fact, online commerce is not only driven by transaction data, it's also driven by product information. What's a product about? What are the specs? And what are the various views about it and so on. The world of finance, lending, investment, stock markets, that's all driven by data. Agriculture, weather prediction, markets, interventions in terms of when to do things over a season when crops are grown and so on, weather. So every field you can think of is predominantly influenced by data and how we can leverage data for better value, better solutions, and better outcomes for for various areas of activity. I would like now touch upon the idea of scale. Suppose I give you a simple problem to count the number of people in this hall. It might take you about 10 minutes. And we can set a few people going around, and we have to make sure that there's no double counting and there's no omission. We can probably produce an answer in about 15 minutes or so, provided we want to make some use of it. For example, if I want to plan some snacks after the event here, I might want a head count approximately. Now, there are several questions about it. Do you want the exact count, or do you want a ballpark, reliable count? Now, take the same problem to the evaluation of census. Census is also about counting the number of people, not merely the number of people, but with additional attributes like what age group, what level of study, and so on. Does it make sense as a point data? By the time you complete the census, it's probably going to be, at least the way it is being done now. In fact, in our country, the 1921 census has still not been taken up. It's probably likely to be taken up in 1925, maybe 26, and so on. It's delayed by. Very much earlier, census used to be a decade-based exercise. And in fact, very interesting to note historically, the US Census in late 19th century, 1890s or 1880, I think, they had the daunting task of how to process first of all, the collection of the data, and second, how to process the data in a reasonable amount of time for it to be useful. Because if you take 20 years to process a census data, by the time the processed data is available, it's no longer relevant for use. So it had to be processed at a much faster speed. And that is when Herman Hollerith, many of you may not have heard, but you can Google it, invented the card machines. They're called Hollerith machines. They used to pervade mainframe computers about 60 years ago. I'm mentioning it because the scale problem is very daunting in dealing with data and computing both. There are many other examples, but today we have an Aadhaar database in our country. Almost, you can say, 90% of 1.4 billion people are covered in that. Maybe even 95%. Why? Because very young children below 2 years, 3 years, even though the provision exists for them to be included in Aadhaar, may not have actually found the need to be having this identity. Many services are based on that. Look at the scale, and it's biometric identification. Now, can we use this idea together to make the census problem arrive at a better solution for the census problem? Census is needed because you need to have various ways of looking at population profiles, to design programs, to design interventions, to allocate budgets, and to create missions to take the country forward. All right? So can we have a different solution? Will technology make it possible? Is it, for example, as a very maybe sounding infeasible approach, can we use the mobile to collect some data which will be useful in terms of a census application. Everybody has a mobile. Because there are many issues. Will people provide reliable data? Will they bluff around and so on? For example, in the field of weather, a lot of weather data has been collected through instrumentation, through sensors and so on. It's not enough, but we have made a lot of progress. There's still more progress to make. So scale is a very important thing, and scaling is not easy. It has its own challenges. The next point I would like to touch is regulations. When it comes to data, this issue of privacy and security is very important. What is the purpose for which data is used, particularly about individuals? It may not be in your curriculum, but you should take a good look at it in terms of what is called GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, which has been in place since 2016 in the European Union. European Union is a cluster of countries, mostly Western Europe, now including quite a few countries of the Eastern Europe also, except Britain, which walked out of it, Brexit. So they come up with a general data privacy and regulation, 2016, and they gave 2 years for organizations which are collecting data about individuals, citizens and so on to comply with the regulation. So 2018 it has come into force. Similarly, we have in our country, what purpose can Aadhaar be used for? It was disputed at the level of the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has given some decisions, some guidelines about where Aadhaar can be used, where it should not be used and so on. And there would be some areas going forward where it possibly can be used with permission, with prior permission or prior approvals, like telephone tapping and so on, similar to that, with prior approvals from maybe from judicial authorities and so on. So this is another area which you need to study. Of course, coming to processing of this large volume of data, we had tremendous progress, particularly in terms of cloud. When you look at these high-tech companies, the big five, Microsoft, Google, Twitter, couple of Facebook, you can add a couple of others to that. When you look at these companies, they are doing large-scale, you can say more or less near real-time operations. For example, Microsoft operating system and other things that run on billions of computers or mobile, billions of mobiles and so on, that's not Microsoft, that's Android. They need to get updated. They need to be tracked in terms of not getting corrupted, all right? So the virus, antivirus and so on, these are all large-scale operations which happen in near real time. So that's another point about scale that you need to be aware of. Now I'd like to turn to the third point. In your curriculum, you're studying many things, right? 4 years, you do projects, you knock around, interact with other people, industry people and so on. But 20, 25 years from now, what is the takeaway from the curriculum that will give you value? Of course, I don't want you to go with the impression that the rest of what is not giving value in the long term from the curriculum can be ignored. No, by no means they can be ignored. Everything you study will bring some sharpening of the mind, some ability to think, some ability to look at something as a collection of parts and interactions between them and so on. These are all very important things that you learn from different aspects of the curriculum. But coming in terms of the basic things that can be taken away from the curriculum, what are they? One is the idea of programming, programmable machines. The idea of, let us say, distributed resources to be brought into play. I mentioned the big five. They licked the problem of large amount of data, including what is now happening in deep learning and large language models, chat GPT and so on, through things like how to distribute computing, how to use a large number of compute servers, compute engines to bear on a problem in terms of dividing the problem into parts, working on the parts and then putting them together in terms of a desired solution. So what scale teaches us is that you have to ask the right questions. For example, in census, I don't want the exact count. Even in terms of this room, I don't want the exact count. So what is the problem? Are we interested in exact answers or are we interested in acceptable answers? This is a big idea. So like this, there are a dozen ideas that are very strong takeaways from your curriculum, which will stand you for 20 years, 25 years. The way to go forward, of course, is to ace the curriculum when you're here, get your degree, summa cum laude, as they say, that means in flying colors, but also have the base in terms of some of these basic ideas that will help you to become an expert in a different field, in a developing field every 8 years. You cannot stop with what you get when you graduate, when you get your degree. Every 8 years, if you work for 30, 40 years, 4 times, 5 times in that period, you have to dig deep into something else and become an expert in that. Continually grow. We call it lifelong learning, continuous learning, never stop learning, and so on. So learn to learn, and that is also part of the curriculum. So the more you leverage the curriculum in terms of becoming an independent learner, a self-learner, a learner in terms of your own volition, your own self-actualization, will be better off. Wish you a bright future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your remarkable words. A good educator can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and instill a love for learning. Today, we are honored to have Dr. V. Murali Bhaskaran, the Dean of Academics at Rajalakshmi Engineering College, among us. His unwavering commitment to academic excellence and student welfare is truly commendable. With extensive experience in education and administration, he fosters a collaborative learning environment. He plays an important role in shaping REC's academic landscape to ensure it remains a beacon of education and research. Please join me in welcoming Dr. V. Murali Bhaskaran, Dean of Academics at Rajalakshmi Engineering College, to felicitate the gathering.
Respected Chief Guest of the Day, Subhadri Narayan, Advisor Dr. C.R. Muthukrishnan, Principal Dr. S.N. Murugesan. For 6 months, more than 6 months, they are working for this conference. Dr. Kumar, Anand Jyoti, Duraimurugan and other committees, Palanivel, all, and student volunteers. Very good morning. At the outset, I am very happy the Computer Science and Engineering Department has come forward to organize this wonderful conference. The topic is computing and data science. We can have another way, computing on data science. That is also very apt for this nowadays current trend, because data is very important. We all know that the information is the wealth nowadays. As we all know that as man think, a human thinking is the most powerful tool on the earth, because we know that with this thinking power we can solve any kind of problem, even it is very big. What type of, it's a complex problem or it is a magnitude very big, doesn't matter, it will do. Because of that, we develop the machine to learn. Nowadays, the machine is learning faster than us. ChatGPT is learning now because it has more than 10 millions or millions of customers Every day they are feeding some input to the ChatGPT and it is learning. Over a period, ChatGPT will develop a product and give to us. Because in the earlier, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, everything, whatever you post, it's a huge data. To analyze the data, we use many tools, data analytics tools. Now the ChatGPT is getting information from us to think, to give correct answers. If you give the same questions 10 times, at the 10th time you will get the better answer from the ChatGPT because it's learning. Do you think that the ChatGPT will beat us? That is a question mark. Definitely it's not. We can have the debate on this also. As we are all, we know that we are all, we have superpower that's called God. God knows how to control the people. One button, tsunami, 10 lakhs gali. Another button, Corona, another 1 crore gali. Like that, it will do anything you want to do. So he is having the final control button, what I have to do. I can control like that. Similar way, we as human being, we can control the machine, but wait for what is happening, whether ChatGPT will develop a product or any robo will develop by its own robo, like we have seen movie Robo 1 and 2. All these, it's robo producing many robos. So all this is a challenging for us, how to control, how to use effectively. And as CRMs are told that how to count this hall, just I was thinking. So if you have the counter, while the people are entering, we can have, finally we can say this, how many students enter into the hall. Another way, ask one person in the bunch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and ask them to count and then sum it up and then give. Again, it will take times. Another method, you put a one QR code. Okay, all of you ask them to just give acknowledgement. Within a minute, you can count number of things. So these are all the way we can. As you think, you can get the answer. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words. As we come to the end of this momentous occasion, I would like to invite Dr. K. Anantajyoti, Professor at the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, participants and dear students. On behalf of Organizing Committee of the International Conference on Computing and Data Science, I stand before you today to express our sincere gratitude for making this conference a resounding success. Firstly, I would like to thank our esteemed chairperson, Dr. Thangam Meganathan ma'am, and our beloved chairman, Mr. M. Abhay Shankar sir, for providing us with us necessary resources and support to us organize this international conference. Our deepest appreciation goes out to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Badri Narayanan, who traveled from across the globe to share the invaluable insights and expertise. The quality of your presentation has undoubtedly enriched the conference and broadened our perspectives in our ever-evolving fields of computing and data science. We are also immensely grateful to our advisor, Dr. C.R. Muthukrishnan sir, for his invaluable insights and encouragement, which have been pivotal in the navigating the complexities of organizing such a prestigious gathering. We also extend our heartfelt thanks to the principal, Dr. S.N. Murugesan sir, for his gracious support in hosting this prestigious event. We are also incredibly grateful to the Dean Academic, Dr. V. Murli Bhaskaran sir, for his commitment to fostering academic excellence. He has provided the perfect platform. The special note of thanks to the HOD of CST, Dr. P. Kumar sir, for his unwavering support and guidance throughout the planning and execution phase of this conference. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to all our keynote speakers for sharing their expertise, research finding, and valuable perspective on various aspects of computing and data science. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to our technical sponsor, IEEE Madras section, and Financial Financer, REC IEEE section, whose generous support made this conference possible. I big thank you to the organizing committee members, the programming committee, the reviewers, and the students who tirelessly worked behind the scenes to ensure the smooth running of the international conference. Your dedication and meticulous planning are highly appreciated. Finally, I would like to thank all the faculty members and staff members for their tireless efforts in making this conference a grand success. Their hard work and dedication have made this international conference a memorable experience for all of us. The success of ICCDS 2024 is a testament to the collective effort of each and every one of you. We hope you take away valuable knowledge, new connections, and memorable experience from this conference. Thank you once again for your participation. We look forward to seeing you at ICCDS 2025.
Thank you, sir, for acknowledging the efforts of all those who made this event possible. As we conclude today's proceedings, I kindly request everyone to rise for the national anthem. Once again, thank you for all your participation and contribution to the success of this conference. I request all the audience to stay back for an insightful keynote session on harnessing the power of technology for career growth by Mr. Meenakshi Sundaram S. I kindly request all the audience to stay back here. Seasoned IT professional with nearly 2 decades of experience across esteemed organizations such as Mahendra Satyam, IBM, Emphasis, and currently International Flavors and Fragrances. As a delivery manager at IFF, he leads a dynamic team of over 40 members specializing in custom application development. He also holds an MBA in technology management from MIT, Anna University, along with a first-class distinction in BE Computer Science and Engineering. He has clinched the prestigious Innovation Award in a high-stakes event, earning recognition from a CEO in Shark Tank event. Certified in Scale Agile Framework as Product Manager, he brings a wealth of expertise to the table. Now, I will invite our keynote speaker, Mr. Meenakshi Sundaram S., to share his insights on harnessing the power of technology for career growth, offering valuable perspectives to our eager students. Sir, the floor is yours.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, students. Okay, I just placed this slide, which I prepared during my introduction, self-introduction to my leadership team. So more than others speak for us, we have to speak for us. We have to promote us. So this is a journey of mine, giving a self-introduction of from beginning to end, like till now, like how I have grown, just not personally, but also my career growth in education and other things. So now it's okay. So even the resume has this template. So take time and prepare yourself when you are going for any interviews, okay? So I'm going to speak about harness the power of technology for your career growth. I don't bore you much, I guess. So what is harnessing? Anyone can explain this word or what I am trying to speak or convey? Okay. Am I audible now? Yeah. Anyone interested to speak about what I am going to convey here? No one? Okay. So, taking advantage of the power of technology for our career growth. How we can focus on a particular technology and grow in our career. This is what I am going to convey during this half an hour or 1 hour session. It is going to be like a high level glimpse of what are the things available in industry, kind of an industry exposure I am going to give you. And if needed, if you are interested, we can have a deep dive session later, okay? So these are the topics I'm going to cover in today's session. Okay, so this is kind of a eagle eyes view how industry is, okay? So it gives any organization, they can say like a flat organization or a hierarchy based organization, but every decision is made at the top in terms of competing with their competitors and the industry where it is going towards, its technology it is migrating towards and all these things. So the organizational view will be for a strategy building for next 2 years or 1 year, and based on that they will plan for next 3 to 6 months what we have to do, and there will be a team lead or someone who will drive the things on an operational basis on day-to-day basis, okay? This is on the strategic, this is kind of a left side view which I placed in this slide. On the right side, you would have been familiar with waterfall agile model of delivery by now, like a sprint and user story kind of things. This operational focus will be on how we execute things to deliver the capabilities. So in terms of any apps that you are using it, any website you are going, it will be a live website. So live in the sense, it will be someone would have developed in the development environment, then they will do it, they will deploy it in the QAS environment where the testers, or they will give for UAT for kind of a white box or black box testing in the initial stage. Based on confirmation and validation, they will live the features. That will be the production or live environment. So now the trend is on the DevOps, kind of continuous deployment cycle. So this is on the top, how the industry works, how you are able to use some application on hand. And on the bottom, so now it is like you would have been aware of what is waterfall or agile mode of delivery. This is to the enterprise level, how the industry operates on a scaled agile mode. Like வீட்டில் சமைச்சு சாப்பிட்றதுக்கும் ஹோட்டலில் சப்ளை பண்ணுறதுக்கும் ஒரு கல்யாணத்துக்கு சமைக்கிறதுக்கும் how things works, how interconnected they are. That is how it is on the scaled agile mode of delivery. And I want to just give an introduction of how and what kind of teams will be involved. You will be, I guess, like you would be more exposed towards development area, technologies like Python or Angular, more of a developer-oriented things. But in industry, we have vast landscape of career growth and career opportunities. So gradually I'll expose you some of the things through this slide into a deep dive things. Okay? Hope things are interesting, or anyone has any questions, you can give the mic to them, and you can stop by at any time to discuss. Okay, so let me move on to the next slide. Audio play ஆகுது. Just give me a minute. So in between, like, any questions? Yeah. Can you go back to the previous slide?
Students, நீங்க +2 படிக்கும்போது இந்த ஒரு வருஷம் கஷ்டப்படு, அடுத்த 4 வருஷம் காலேஜ்ல ஜாலியா இருக்கலாம்னு சொல்லியிருப்பாங்களே. அதுல முதல் வருஷத்தோட முதல் நாள்ல இன்னைக்கு நீங்க இருக்கிறீங்க. உங்க எல்லாருக்கும் ஒரு உண்மையை சொல்லட்டுமா? அவங்க உங்ககிட்ட போய் சொல்லிட்டாங்கப்பா. நீங்க இந்த 4 வருஷமும் கஷ்டப்பட்டு தான் ஆகணும்.
So I just placed this to get your attention, and I will play another one slide. So here, even the hero of this movie is so jovial and entertaining, but he will be thinking of his goal, what he wants to become. Okay, at the end, even the climax gets over, he has to continuously do something to prove himself.
என்கிட்ட கேட்கப்படுற பொதுவான கேள்வி, என் சக்சஸ்க்கு என்ன காரணம்? இட்ஸ் ஆக்சுவலி வெரி சிம்பிள். வாழ்க்கையில ஒரே ஒரு ஐடியாவை எடுத்துக்கங்க, அந்த ஐடியாவையே உங்க வாழ்க்கையாக்கி. திங்க் அபவுட் இட். ஆல் தி வெரி பெஸ்ட். ஜெய் ஹிந்த்.
Okay, so leave no choice for others to push you, push yourself. So far, like parents, teachers, lecturers will be asking you to study, but all the things what you are studying here, it's considered they are like alphabets for you. There is no opportunity for you to learn those things like OOPS concepts, programming, for loop, if loop. These are all fundamentals for you to think logically. Okay, so again, think beyond your goal and set a vision for your career. Consider you have already got the job. Even now I am learning. Means I have to prove on day-to-day basis what I have to consistently learn, and being a continuous learner to sustain in the industry. You would have heard of news like layoff, other things. At the end, what people will be doing is they'll do a certification to qualify themselves and get a job. So why do you want to end up into that stage? Instead, be a continuous learner. Okay, and make a habit, like cultivate habits to learn something and be a continuous learner is what I want to convey in this slide. Even Google Map leaves you in a dead end. So technology is not something it has to drive us. It should be we learning the technologies. We have to get hold of things and to drive our journey of your career path. And I know, like the last picture which I pasted here is the latest trend of the Coolie movie, where the time and watch is gold. Okay, in gold coated manner they would have pasted it. I want to convey, like, unsubscribe from social media apps and create value for your time. Treat time as money and spend your time appropriately. So more than social media apps, there are more interesting apps. 2-minute read. Make a habit to just spend 2 minutes. In medium site, you will have like 2 minutes article. Start contributing, start blogging. Okay, so cultivate that habit. And also there is a AWS free skill builder. LinkedIn Learning is there. Dev site is there. Dev.io, Meetup. So the Meetup site you can collaborate with the industrial experienced professionals. They'll be conducting like weekly sessions or anything. There'll be like a meetup happening. So register yourself in the meetup sessions and build a network among yourself, along with the industrial professional. That will open up something new for you. More than what you are learning here, make a habit to just meet up the professionals over the weekend. And become a mastery in your space, identify a mentor. So mentor can be identified through LinkedIn or even from the meetups. So they can guide you what is happening in the industry. So Swiggy, Zomato are one of the successful apps which is built, which is like they have identified a problem. They framed a problem, they identify a selling use case, and it become a business solution. So even like you will be the students will be here, I guess, from second, third year, fourth year. So identify a business problem more than like choosing a technology to do a project. Identify a prevailing business problem or a problem, day-to-day problem, which you can solve through technology for your projects. And lead your career to lead your life and others. Because like movie alone, we can see the climax, but our life continues. Even marriage is like that. So this is these are the career tracks available in IT industry. And become a technologist is a jargon. Like you would see like earlier it was like MBBS, BDS kind of courses now in medical industries. But there are specialists like cardiologists, gynecologists. You also have to become a technology by choosing a specialization in one technology space and one career path. There are multiple things available. Development. So in development, we have programmers kind of role, even, so these are kind of a project categories, okay? There will be support and maintenance project, development project, infrastructure side, networking side, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So all these are kind of a tracks. Choose your track and become a specialist or become at least a follower. Like in spirituality, they say like, first thing they have to do is identification of a guru. So I just want you to set your goal and choose a technology and follow what is happening in the space. Be a UX, SM or all kind of roles. Business analyst, scrum master, UX designers, even UI developers, many things are there. I couldn't fill up everything here, but choose something and focus on that instead of focusing on many things at a time. So this is artificial architecture landscape. So here you can find, it is kind of any industries if you go, there are, the popular thing is 3-tier architecture. Application, which is a web front end, it would be a mobile or it can be accessible through computers or laptops or iPads. And other one is the API layer and database layer. So database, for accessing the data, they would have cached somewhere in Redis or in Elasticsearch. But the base is this. Earlier, it was all in SOAP protocol, where it is the output from the API or database is all in XML. Now it is all JSON. So we use REST protocol, which is common now. So this is the base for how things works. So in this also, the things are like you can focus on one section of this. Could be a mobile developer or could be a web application developer. You can be a API developer. You can be a database engineer. So like that, you focus on one section of an expert, okay? So we lived in the space of, in the age of invention and imagination. So what happened in the past was, during the invention age, before 1980s and all, anything that comes or introduced, it is all never prevailed in the earth. So people's imagination was like, for example, if an inventor can come and speak about car, people relate to things which were in the which were in use that time. Like a car would have a horse in front of it. That was the imagination. So the public people will not have that much mindset of how things works. So instead of engine, they will be thinking of a horse like this. But we moved towards the innovation phase, late 1990s, where devices got introduced, technologies were in boom, and gradually the innovation started. Like with the products which were in hand, the changes come through the products, the things were changing which were in our hand. So people will be having some idea what is going to change, what are the updates that would come. So that was the innovation period, and with the introduction of smartphone, the earlier things got deprecated. So like Nokia, BlackBerry, they are out of market now because they are not up to date at that time. And with the introduction of smartphone, with the touch panel, other things, now even iPhone, Apple is struggling. After that, no much innovation happened to the same device, only updates are coming. But now we are in the period of, or the age of consumers and data-driven phase, where you will be hearing things on day-to-day basis, because in the last decade we were hearing about data which was collected through computers, and all the voluminous data were there residing in our databases, and we were hearing about big data, Hadoop, other things in the last decade. Now to the next thing is, with the data, what we can do. Now, even if you log in Amazon, if you are trying to buy a mobile, recommendation comes, you want to buy a mobile case. Last month, grocery, if you have purchased something, whatever things, when you log in, immediately that will come for the current month. That is how the data is driving us for the purchase. So, I was showing that before, I was showing this slide previously because I want to highlight this. The lifespan of products, technologies are shrinking. Really it is shrinking, okay? But choose something which is sustaining, which is going to sustain for your career, and you can also sustain in your career. Not just finding a job, you have to sustain in the career. There is life after finding a job too. So these are the popular and more kind of proven technologies and tools available in the market. You would have been familiar, I guess. It is more easier if you learn at least one technologies in the catalog, it will easily fetch you a job. But keep updating yourself. Every 6 months, every 3 months, you will have releases. Follow the releases. Keep learning on at least one of the technologies. I'm sure if this is in your resume, something on this catalog is there in your resume, you will surely find a job easily. But you should be an expert to answer some of the things, what you are going to do in your projects using these technologies. I don't want to go into deep on this slide, but if you are in, probably if any follow-up session or on any deep dive sessions, I will cover most of the things because due to the time constraint. But this is kind of a tools that are available. But on the left side is kind of a web technologies, API technologies, even Python for the data science, and the tools you should be familiar, database, cloud. And this is kind of a tool set which is available in the market. These are all open sources. Even you can install in your laptop and start learning. Okay, now the interesting thing is artificial intelligence and machine learning. So everywhere it is AI, and everyone in the market now is like, I've completed courses in Python, I've completed data science, how I can groom myself and find a job. So everyone cannot become a data scientist. So there is something called a core knowledge is needed to become an expert. You would be having a computer science knowledge, mathematics and statistics, but the domain knowledge is important. Altogether, it will give you a data scientist role, fetch you a data scientist role. So the domain, in the sense, domain is like in industries will have a chemical domain or financial domain or banking domain or healthcare. So the domain knowledge is important to understand about the data. So employee salary structure could be a data, but what each piece of the field or the data is going to derive for the information that matters. That is called a domain knowledge. And the modeling things, how it works is, so by understanding the data, it will kind of, we will have a testing and also the training data set. So you would have watched most of the things in Endiran movie in 2 decades ago, like in the first part. They'll first train the Chitty Robo, then they'll start questioning it. So like that, we will have a sample data set to train it. Like how we are showing some little toys to the kids, how we are training, this is shape, this is an apple, or this is a round shape. Like that, if it relates to the new objects and able to answer the proper question, is kind of a test, training and testing. Okay, so like that, we will have an initial static data set for training the model. Then we will validate with the testing data sets, whether it is able to, the model is able to answer it properly. So then what happens is, it is not like a one-time activity. We will have a voluminous data to train it. And we have to continuously train so that even the yesterday is happening, it is able to answer properly. So if you, even ChatGPT is popular, but it got trained in 2021 August. Anything that happened after that, it is like amnesia patient, it forgets. So the latest things are not trained because Google has reserved the data not to train the ChatGPT. And how we operationalize this, you will be like seeing the Lego pieces here. So how we isolate it, how we build it, and build a story around it, and cater the need of the business is more important. It's not just AI modeling alone. How it is going to be part of our day-to-day application in use. Suppose our Amazon site, again I'm taking that example. It is seamless. It is recommending the products and the accessories because of the data which is trained, but it is part of our user journey. Okay, so these are the things which is trending now: generative AI, prompt engineering, and each one comes up with their own kind of AI model and competing with each other. This is going to be like the current trend, and it is going to be part of our day-to-day life, like which is trending in YouTube and other social media networks. This is so popular, but at least you learn about prompt engineering, which is like a skill to question properly and get an answer which is relevant for our thing which we are doing. Like if you want to compose a mail, what kind of thing we have to draft it, we can, if you ask a proper question, it will be able to answer properly. So that kind of skill we can develop. And AWS SageMaker is like our MLOps to build a model training and also building a MLOps. MLOps is like machine learning operations. Its operation is like a continuous activities. Continuously it has to train itself and able to answer. Okay, so that's all. I want to wrap the session. So future, if you want to reach me, you can contact me in this side. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for gracing us with your invaluable insights on harnessing the power of technology in our career growth. Your expertise in navigating the dynamic intersection of technology and career development has left us inspired and empowered. Now, I request Dr. S. Pungurli, Director, Alumni Affairs, to present a memento to our keynote speaker, Mr. Meenakshi Sundaram S. Thank you, ma'am. I thank everyone for your attentive presence and for graciously absorbing the insightful keynote session. Thank you and have a wonderful day.